So happy Wednesday. Let me tell you what I was thinking of sharing with you today. I've been thinking about a time, I think it was Easter morning, some years ago. A lady came through, a young lady, her mother had just been diagnosed with cancer. And she told me and said to me very heartfelt, how do I celebrate when my heart is breaking? And I'm thinking about that these days. How do we celebrate in the midst of coronavirus? How do we have a sense of something positive where there seems to be so much negative? And so I was planning to share some words from First Thessalonians. Paul says, be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. Sounds like a good 3 point message that a preacher would kind of preach. But it's occurred to me that a formula, just 3 point ways to success, is never going to take us far enough. And I kind of struggle sometimes. I don't think church, even, certainly not religion, never just information, is going to be enough to really allow us to celebrate when the days are long and the times are hard. I was in a group of men this morning. We meet at 6:30 every Wednesday morning. We were talking about the importance of narratives. And I just was thinking about that this morning and thinking, here's my narrative. I need a savior. That's what carries me in times like this. And so I want to share a story. It's a story I've actually shared a message, I think, years ago. It's about a movie called The Bridge. It's put out by the Mormons. It's only about 10 minutes long. There's no words in it at all, but you know exactly what's going on the whole time. And this story just always captures me so much. It's the heart of my story. It's what continues to stir me. It gives me a cause for celebration. So in the beginning of the movie, you see a young family, a father, a mother, a little boy. They're enjoying their time around the kitchen table. You can tell they're a Christian family because they say a prayer before the meal. And the little boy, you just can tell he loves and adores his daddy. Everywhere his daddy goes, he follows behind. His daddy goes out in the backyard, and the little boy tumbles behind. The dad is working in the garden. His son gets down and starts digging, and his dad shows him how to plant corn. It's just a beautiful family. Then the time comes in the movie where we see what the dad does for a living. We watch him as he leaves and says goodbye to his family, and he walks off in the distance to a little hut. It's built up on the side of a vast river. And what he is, he's an engineer. And it's his job every day to go up into this little hut a couple times a day and flip a few levers, hit a few buttons that allows the whole river bridge to allow to swing across the river so that it connects with the tracks on the other side so that the train can go safely across. And that's what we see him doing that day. He goes up into the hut, pulls the lever, hits a few buttons, and this massive train bridge goes swinging across the river. It connects with the other side. Although evidently it doesn't quite completely connect. And we can see this because there's some flashing lights going on the switchboard. And evidently he's used to this. So he gets a crowbar. He climbs down from the hut. He walks across the bridge in order to connect the crowbar and connect the track so that the train can go safely across. And about this time, we see the train is approaching. It's full of holiday travelers. They're happy and singing, just having a merry time. And then we go back and see the man about to put the crowbar in. It doesn't completely connect. And here's where we see what's dramatically happening. This little boy, his son, is following him across the river bridge, across the tracks. And so just for that moment, those of us watching the movie, we realize what's happening. The train track is not connected. The train is quickly approaching, but his son is coming from the opposite direction. And so there, just for the moment, we see graphically depicted in this man's face the agony of a father who now must make a decision between a trainload of passengers or his only son. And he stands there holding the crowbar. For a second there, he just doesn't know what to do. You can only imagine. but he wants to throw it down and run and grab his boy. But as surely as he does, that trainload of travelers will plunge into the river and all die. And yet, if he pulls the bar and connects the track, the train will race across and it will kill his son. The consternation is there but for a moment. And then we watch as resolutely and courageously he puts the crowbar into place, and with a grimness on his face, he pulls it back, shutting the track. And the train races across the track. And it's the last we see of the little boy. All we see now in the film, as the film ends, are the holiday travelers still laughing and having fun. They don't realize how narrowly they have avoided disaster and what a price the switchman has played for their safety. That, you see, is a story I never get over. That's the story of the grace of God, that he's given his only son that we may be saved. What do we need in times like this? We need truly a Savior. We don't need a formula. We don't need just church. We certainly don't need religion. We need a Savior. And my narrative, and I pray for you, is that you know that there is one who has given up his very life for us. And so there's nothing he won't do for us in this life, right now, in these times we are in. So I pray your story knows and understands this story, and that it makes all the difference in your life right now.